Hello YouTube, this is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, April the 17th, with a bit of a bumper crop of X-Plane news among all the other sims. First up, Real Weather Connector. The video you're watching right now is from Red Piper 1 covering the Real Weather Connector and is linked in the show notes below. Do check out his video and his channel. Produced by Sundog Software, x-aviation this week released the Real Weather Connector, an X-Plane add-on designed to work with SkyMax Pro version 3.1 and which translates real-world weather data into X-Plane. The software accurately places clouds using SkyMax Pro 3.1, meaning you'll be able to see an accurate weather fronts ahead of you, behind you, to either side, without any more of those nasty abrupt weather changes in X-Plane. Real Weather Connector increases the number of supported cloud layers in X-Plane from 3 to 6, as well as supporting 5 different cloud types. You can even use the add-on online. This is kind of neat, where you combine real-world cloud data mixed in with wind data from the online service you're flying on. It does require SkyMax Pro version 3.1. That was a recent update to SkyMax Pro 3 that makes it possible to once and for all solve the dreaded weather pop-in problem in X-Plane. Real Weather Connector is $19.95 and is available from the X-Aviation store linked in the show notes below. Sticking with X-Plane, we now move over to Dallas-Fort Worth International. Video you're watching this time is of Dallas-Fort Worth International for X-Plane from Tom Curtis and is linked in the show notes below. Do check out his video and his channel as well. Scenery for XP this week released KDFW or Dallas-Fort Worth. The airport is of course the primary international airport for Dallas, Texas, and is the largest hub for American Airlines. In fact, the name of the scenery is actually subtitled American's Country. It is the third busiest airport in the world by aircraft movements and the 9th by passenger transport. Scenery for XP's version has accurately modelled gates and terminals, as well as static and animated aircraft baked right in. It features photoreal ground textures, has custom ATC realistic night lighting, and models all 5 terminals, all 7 runways, all 165 gates, and all 3 control towers. It is absolutely massive. More information at the xplane.org store link in the show notes below. This product will set you back $24.95. Still with X-Plane, next up XLife Deluxe from JAR Design. The video you're watching this time around is from J.A. Romanoff, the JAR in JAR Design, I think, hopefully I'm not wrong. His video is linked in the show notes below. As always, check out his video and his channel. JAR Design this week released XLife Deluxe, a plugin for X-Plane that at last breathes some much needed life into the X-Plane AI traffic and ATC system. Combine this with Real Weather Connector, SkyMax Pro 3.1 and the incredible AL Pilot scenery upgrades and you're at last approaching what's necessary in X-Plane to compete with the environmental depth that we actually have in FSX and Prepared, but I digress. XLife Deluxe provides accurate ground and air traffic, including complex algorithms for ground routing to prevent conflicts while taxiing. ATC functions are extended with support for ATIS and METAR for departure and arrival, delivery clearance, startup and pushback clearance, taxi clearance, and so on, all the way down to landing and taxi to the final gate. In fact, almost every phase of flight is now covered by ATC with this. It also supports flight plan generation as well as import and export of flight plan data with supported aircraft, which right now means the JAR Design A320 and A330. Traffic is customizable with traffic density sliders in the sim, as well as to tweak the experience to best suit your own machine. The price is actually pretty cool, just $19.99. More information at the XLife Deluxe link at the xplane.org store, linked in the show notes below. Next up, and still with X-Plane, the Carenado Mustang. X-Plane developers Carenado have been posting up screenshots of their soon-to-be-released P51 Mustang for X-Plane, and it looks phenomenal. Carenado are not the most prolific X-Plane developer out there, but all their aircraft are usually stunningly detailed, and this Mustang looks no exception. From the screenshots they posted, it has a full in-cockpit reference, including checklists, a full payload manager, and absolutely incredible visuals both in and out of the cockpit. It also has a handy quick access bar to jump immediately to the manual, the checklist, the radios, weights and fuel panels, and so on. They aren't the first developer to do this, of course, in X-Plane. Airfoil Labs did something similar with their 172. Carenado have been kind of doing it for a while, but I've got to say that this is a great way for developers to address the ongoing complaints about the X-Plane interface being so awful. Provide your own custom interface that beautifully complements your add-on aircraft, and you're good to go. Great work, Camsim. I don't have any idea yet of a release date of the Mustang or the price, but immediately prior to recording this very show, Camsim reached out to me and gave me a key so I can actually try the aircraft out for myself. So I don't think it's very far away from release. I will of course be posting up a video or two as soon as I get some time to dedicate to this mighty warbird. More information on the Camsim Mustang can be found at the Camsim blog, linked in the show notes below. And still with X-Plane, this is the last X-Plane story, Carenado's TBM 850 HD for X-Plane. Carenado this week released the X-Plane version of their very popular TBM 850. Now the TBM 850 is a single-engine aircraft, is a pressurized turboprop that was actually built in collaboration with Mooney and Sakata. The key feature of the 850 is a fully integrated G1000 flight deck as standard equipment. Naturally then, the Carenado version has its own version of the Garmin G1000 PFD and MFD, along with the GMC 710 autopilot and the GCU 475 control unit. Carenado's G1000 aircraft do require you to also download and install a separate G1000 database, but when that's done you get a pretty good approximation of the real deal, complete with terrain awareness map mode, various declutter levels, org trip planning and more. Other than that, the usual Carenado feature list applies: 4K HD textures, 3D gauges, a high quality sound set and customization panel to tweak the aircraft to your PC and sim. The TBM 850 also includes a full overtorque failure simulation. The aircraft is supplied with the usual assortment of small PDFs for checklists and procedures, performance, as well as an overview of the G1000. Carenado's TBM 850 for X-Plane will set you back $34.95. More information at the Carenado link in the show notes below. Now moving away from X-Plane and back into the world of FSX and Prepared, we have Latin VFR's KRDU. Latin VFR have been posting up in-progress shots of their Rally Durham International or Kilo Romeo Delta uniform on Facebook. Rally Durham is the main airport serving Rally Durham and the Research Triangle region of North Carolina. It handles 352 flights per day in the real world and almost 10 million passengers in 2015. The shots posted at Facebook show the usual attention to detail in Latin VFR products, with all terminals and gates modeled using very high definition textures on all runways, taxiways and of course buildings. No information yet on a release date or a price, but stay tuned to Latin VFR's Facebook page linked in the show notes below for updates and more information. Next up, Frooglesim Henry Coanda Airport in Bucharest. New developer Frooglesim this week released their Henry Coanda Bucharest Airport for FSX. Although they say it will install and Prepared using the migration tool, it is an FSX add-on. The airport scenery models every single building and feature of the actual airport, including the visual guidance system for parking at the gates. Also includes custom lighting for the taxiways, which don't float above the taxiways, as you see unfortunately in so many other scenery packs. Other features include animated windsocks and birds, static aircraft and custom approach lighting. A demo is available of this, but the full scenery is just €12.89 for FSX. Remember, once again, this is an FSX add-on, but it will work with the Estonia Prepared migration tool if you do want to run this in Prepared. And our final story, FS2 Crew Reboot version 2. Now, FS2 Crew Reboot, the add-on that gives you a voice-controlled first officer whenever you fly the PMDG 737 NGX, has been updated to version 2. Normally, I do not cover product updates. I get asked this quite a lot. When are you going to cover version 0.2 of X, Y, and Z? I don't cover product updates normally, unless they are significant updates, not just bug fixes and tweaks. This one is a significant update because FS2 Crew Reboot version 2 now includes Emergency NGX. Emergency NGX was a special FS2 Crew add-on that enables virtual pilots to work through the QRH procedures for various emergency conditions, including, for example, aborted engine starts, engine failures, evacuation, hydraulic failures, and much, much more. Emergency NGX is actually a €24 product, but existing customers of NGX Reboot can get that for free in this version 2 update. As with the previous version of NGX Reboot, this version also supports both FSX and Prepared. If you are not already a customer of the NGX Reboot, it will cost you €34.95 for the basic button and voice version, €44.95 if you want the captain set, which includes FS2 Crew's RAAS. Previous customers of other FS2 Crew products can get €5 off by entering the discount code REBOOT5 at checkout. And that's it for this week's show. If I've missed anything, do as always leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know what it is. I'll take a look and see if it's worth including in next week's show. Until then though, my name is Frugal. Thank you all so very, very, very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.